about the illegal guns that we're having, you know. Why are you gonna have an assault rifle? You can't hunt with it. You can't really do anything with it, you know. But kill people, you know. And when you say assault rifle, you know, that's a war weapons, you know. Last week we talked about fentanyl, you know. Teach your kids don't accept drugs from their friends. I don't care what it is, because sometimes those drugs are not good. They don't know what they're giving you, or they want to give it to you to wind up with a laugh. You see. Another thing I want to bring to your attention, you know, patriot. You know, what is a patriot? A patriot believes in man and not in God. You know, American patriots believe in the Constitution, you know, and if you're American patriot and believe in God, you gotta believe in love. And you can find that in 1 Corinthians 13. Read the whole chapter, not this verses, read the whole chapter. And if you read the whole chapter, you're doing good. So this is the thing, you know, we got to have things that we're gonna talk about. I got a guest with me this morning. His name is Brock. I don't know your last name.
Mitchell.
Brock Mitchell.
Good evening, people. Directing behind the scene, sitting in for Keith.
Yeah.
How you
So,
doing, brother? How you doing?
yes, I want to say good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome to
you,
the Community Matters Show. And I know we got some things you want to talk about, and most probably is the violence that we have in our community.
Yes.
You know, so introduce yourself fully and what you all about.
My name Brock Mitchell. I'm born and raised in New Iberia, Louisiana, man. Love my city, man. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Main thing it is, enough is enough, man. You know what I mean? It's got to stop somewhere. Somebody got to bring it to. We're gonna try to do our thing and bring it to a stop, man, or at least slow it down a bit, a whole lot, man, because we are losing a lot of our young brothers, sisters, kings, and queens out there, man.
Yeah.
To these streets, man. This street violence is going way too far. I mean, it's just no more respect. They don't respect the elders. We got elders getting shot, killed behind nonsense, you know what I mean? It's just no respect in the game no more.
No.
It ain't the same. I mean, times and change, man. And we gotta change with the times, man. We gotta know how to change with the times.
Yeah, yes sir, definitely. You know, the youngsters nowadays, it seems like they just done flipped.
Yes.
They went into a different stage of life. You know, they don't want you to say nothing to them.
Right, and it's got a lot to do with what's happening at home.
Yeah.
Just like everybody say, you know what I mean? Because it starts at home. I mean, a lot has changed, bro. In my day, man, we knew better.
Oh yeah.
Man, if one of your elders tell you something, man, you better take that at heed and go on home if they telling you go on home.
Yeah.
If they telling you pick up your pants, you would do that. Or they'd walk up to you and pick your pants up for you. Nowadays, you try to do that,
Well,
you might get shot in doing it.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people, young ladies having babies, and they wasn't well raised themselves.
Right.
And they're allowing their kids to raise them instead of they raise the kids. They work 2 or 3 jobs trying to give their kids everything that they want.
Right.
Know? And it's all good, you know, to give your kids things, make sure that they're having things, you know, but when you're doing too much,
Yeah.
now you're doing bad.
Yeah, because you're losing out on that time.
Yeah.
If you ain't spending that time with them, teaching them the right things, also with the things that you giving them that they need, you know talking necessities, man, because they didn't took that to a different level
Yeah.
these days too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our mothers and grandmothers, grandfathers, fathers, they knew what we needed. They wasn't going out there buying Michael Jordans and all that stuff
No.
like that.
No.
You know? They just wasn't doing it.
It was hard for us to get a pair of All-Star tennis shoes at the time.
Yeah.
You know.
You know?
And All-Star was the brand that everybody wanted, and it wasn't over expensive, but it wasn't unexpensive neither. You
True.
know? So all these things we got to worry about, and we got to worry about that as elderly. You know.
Right.
Right now, these youngsters have the older people or the older generation scared to say something to them
True.
because you never know if they got a gun strapped to their back, their side, you know, with clothes over it. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, you know.
Right.
You got to worry about going to the grocery stores. You got to worry about going to church nowadays.
Right.
You know, it's a shame the way they taking these guns and shooting up people with them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, and then you turn on the news and you got to watch all of this. You know.
And to see innocent children, women,
Yeah.
elder folks getting affected by this, man. Come on, man. It's time for somebody to wake up
Mm-hmm.
and see
Yeah.
what's going on, man. I mean, this is going way too far, man. It's way out of proportion now, man.
Well, they got too many access to guns. You know.
Right.
You could buy guns off the internet. You could buy guns from somebody on the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could go to gun shows
Right.
and get guns with no background check. You know,
Right.
and that's the crazy part. You know, everybody talk about guns, but when it comes down to a felon, you know, he's not supposed to own a weapon.
True.
But some people say, I'd rather be
Caught
carried
with
by
it.
12
Then to
than
be carried by 6.
Mhm.
Right.
And that's the thing that you know you got to worry about.
Yeah.
You know, so
Because you got people who kill out of fear, man. Just out of fear, and
yeah,
they won't even know what they're doing until it's already done.
done. Yeah, some of them think it's those video games they be playing.
Yeah.
You know, they could shoot up everybody on the video game, turn the video game off, come back the next day or the next hour, turn it back on, they all back
And
again.
everybody's back.
Yeah.
That's not how life worked, though.
No,
man.
no. Real life is serious.
Yes.
You know, when you pull that trigger, you know, it's almost too late.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
almost, it is too late.
It is
You know,
way too
because
late.
now you got to suffer the consequences. You know,
Right.
if you get caught, you going to jail. The other person going to the grave.
Yep.
You know.
And then both of those families is affected by this.
Yeah,
That's 2 losses, man.
yeah. Family, friends. Your friends is affected by it.
Right.
Their friends are affected by it. So we got to understand what a weapon is really all about. You know.
Brother Wallace, I want to give the disclaimer that I know
Okay.
you like to run your disclaimer. The views expressed on this TV program are not those necessarily of the station, staff, or management of AOC Community Media and their employees. It's just simply the opinions and the research by Brother Wallace Senegal and his guest,
Yes.
Brother
Yeah.
Brock Mitchell. But I want to add to this, and I know Brock is more into the positive side of things, and that's the good thing. He got some programs and some plans. I heard on our show that we did on Saturday morning,
Right.
the People's Tech. And maybe you want to bring this to the forefront right now to help alleviate the same problems you had. You talked about, Brother Wallace, you described.
Yeah.
What is it that's one of the catalysts that makes our young people, or a lot of people, not just the young people, we focusing on the young people, take to that life be about it life. If I could use those words, man, you know I'm old.
Right.
You know, I don't know what I'm saying, but you could put it into the proper context. And what program that you have that you think that might help alleviate some of those problems?
Well, the first program we coming with is scheduled to go down next weekend for Easter weekend. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be Good Friday and the Saturday, April the 8th. It's a Stop the Violence softball tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the youth. We got kids from all ages of 9 to 15 that's involved, participating. And I want to thank all the surrounding areas that brought teams along to participate in this thing. We got teams from all over St. Martinville, the whole surrounding areas of New Iberia. Teams all within New Iberia that came out and participated, man. This particular program is gonna be to bring the kids together, because that's a big problem also. You got kids that live on one side of town that don't never go on the other side, and you got kids that live on that other side that don't come on this side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big problem, because they always behind the elders of them that's going neck to neck with each other. You know what I mean? So they keep their kin folks and their family away from that part of town, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So this right here is gonna be the beginning of the whole community of New Iberia. I mean, every part of New Iberia, these kids starting to react and interact with each other and get to know each other, man, instead of just knowing that, okay, uptown was going against downtown, or vice versa, or whatever it could be, whatever part of town beefing with each other.
Right.
You know, I'm just using that for instance. But this program is going to start bringing these kids together, reacting together, getting them to know each other, and then they're going to start to loving each other again. You know what I mean? We also have other programs that's going to be coming up after this. You know what I mean? We got programs that we want to help Councilwoman Dee Dee Reed. She's beautifying the city. She's doing planting around the city, planting trees, planting hedges, bushes, everything like that. This is going to give kids the chance to learn a new trade, how to use their green thumb. You know?
And let their eyes see something different other than
Right, instead of always seeing the same old.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's gonna take off from there. We're gonna open up and we're gonna start a hardball program. You know what I mean? Where we teach kids fastball. We teach them, you know what I mean, how to learn real fundamentals of the game. You know what I mean? Just teaching them real fundamentals of the game. We've been in contact. Well, I've been in contact with a good friend of mine, bro, Shane Newman. We're trying to set up something for the summer, a good baseball camp where we can get them to come, a good meet and greet with the kids, so the kids learn, you know what I mean, other sports besides basketball, football, always the same things, you know what I mean? It'll just open their minds up and take up some of their time instead of giving them so much time to just
linger around
doing nothing, you know what I mean? And then that'll open up to other programs, because there's other organizations that we want to link up with.
I was getting ready to ask you, did you know Walter Gilder? He used to be the director of housing. Now he's into park and recreation.
Yes.
And he's having things like that here for a lot of the kids to have activity in, you know?
Right.
And maybe you could get with him, you know, and y'all could kind of interact, because he's from New Iberia, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and Walter he's the one implementing those NBA with the Pelicans.
Junior leagues.
You remember that, and
Right.
And a lot of the teams are coming. Even the baseball training too, softball and baseball training. So Walter is the person in the region of this area of South Louisiana, and being from New Iberia, I know that's right there. Will make him proud, man. So Sister Khadija and I have been trying to contact him. I know he's busy, but we certainly put your name in the hat. And along with Brother Albert Hill out of New Iberia, you know, Pastor Albert Hill and I, you know.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. And I sure appreciate that, man. I want every chance we can get, man, you know, because I have kids of all those ages, man. I got 12 boys, 2 girls, you know.
Whoa, you don't look old enough to have all those kids.
Yeah, man, I have 12 boys, 2 girls, man, and I have them at all those stages and ages, so I know how it's these days. It's not about just how we were getting disciplined back then.
Mm-hmm.
See, now that things have changed, the parents kind of softened up on the kids, you know what I mean? So that gave the kids a little more leeway. So now you have to know how to go about reaching that kid instead of just arguing at them, fussing at them all the time. Because sometimes when you raise a kid like that, that builds up hating that kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And that kid gonna grow up to hate you and hate you and hate you and hate you. And then once they get to the age to where they feel, you know what I mean, oh man, I'm do what I want to do. They ain't gonna do me nothing anyway. Then you're gonna start having problems with the kid running away or stealing money from you or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's gonna cause more problems because now you don't want to start trying to beat on the kid. You haven't done this before. The kid feel he's grown, so you put your hands on that kid. That kid is gonna try to defend himself against his own parent, not even knowing. You know what I mean? You're doing the wrong thing. Man.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I knew a parent working 3 jobs trying to give her kids everything that they wanted, you know, and when she had a day off, she couldn't correct her kids because she was never around them.
Right.
But that day off and that one day, you know, she's trying to make them clean their room and things like this here. They're not used to doing that, so I don't have to do that, you know? And that's the way they was looking at it, you know?
Right.
And when I sit down and talk to her, I'm not saying I'm the great big talker or nothing like this here, but I told her I could mentor your son every day, you know? That's not gonna be the problem. I'm gonna be his mentor, but you ain't gonna be nothing to him. Right now, he don't know you but mom, you know? And mom, I want this, or mom, I want that. Because you working to try to satisfy, they don't need to listen to you no more.
True.
You know? So those are the kind of things that you know, we got to understand what's going on in kids' life, in our life, you know? And I think love, not gift love.
No. We gotta show them that love.
Show them love.
You know what I mean?
You know?
Just take a little time, man, and have that conversation every now and again. Just sit down and communicate with you.
Give them a hug.
Cause man, when I sit back and watch how my wife interact with the kids, bro, we all have fun together. So we make it fun. That's the thing about kids today. If it ain't fun to them, they don't want no part of it. They'll rather go and sit down and play on their phone or watch a video or something. But you start making things look fun. Hey, come on, look, let's play cleanup or let's pick up the blocks or something like that. If they're that age. Now when you get to your older kids, man, like our oldest daughter, she's 20. So man, her and her mom they communicate like they're best friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm the dad that just comes in and tries to spoil that. You know, I love the baby girls. That's my baby girls. You know what I mean? But that's how we have fun. You know what I mean? So you got to make times fun with the kids every chance you get. Because and especially for those parents that have those 2 and 3 jobs and stuff like that. Man, every chance you get, every chance you pass that kid up. Hey, why you been? Or, hey, girl, what's going on? What's up with them grades? What we did at school today? Just try to communicate them in a little bit. You know what I mean? You'll be surprised.
And that would be the big thing why they turn to other things, other distractions that might be harmful to their growth and development, because lack of attention from the parents, and you see it a lot these days.
Yes, man, and not just that, they go somewhere else and they get that little bit of love. Because it don't take much with a child, I'm telling you, man. It don't take much. If you notice, if you look at their face when you buy them something, that's mine. You know what I mean? Like the other day, man, we went to get my 13-year-old another phone. He seen that iPhone, his eyes blew. Like, that's mine. Yeah, that's you, man. Oh man, you know what I mean? And that brought his chest out. You know what I mean? So now he know, man, I've been doing good, my grades good, let me try to do a little better for my mom and dad. Let me do better for my big brother, you know what I mean? Because his big brother take care of him too, so. He see them packages come in the mail, bro. That's the first thing. Hey, daddy, you order something? Mama, you order something? He go by his sister first, and then he trying to open it. He know, you know what I I mean, I done did something good. So,
Mhm.
man, you'll be surprised. Just a couple of minutes with them kids, man, cheering them kids on. That'll really grab them, bro.
I got a question there. From your opinion, we all talk, like I said, we talk on the radio, we talk different platforms, but it's good to hear somebody from the community who actually doing some hands-on stuff, because some of us get caught up in the media and all we do is talk.
Right.
But that's why we want to facilitate those ideas coming from people like my cousin Brock. I'm proud to say that's my cousin.
Mhm.
So you think that's the biggest problem why we have all this stuff going on nowadays, the disconnect of family?
Yes.
Family is not family. You heard that, you said that, nah, I heard you say it.
Family's not family no more, man. The big mamas done died off, man.
Yeah.
Because God knows, man, when I was young, and
Your grandmother, my aunt.
My
I
grandmother,
used to love to go back.
my Aunt Joyce, my Uncle Babam, my Aunt Shakun, we stayed in either one of those houses. You had a small circle where you went, but they kept you in contact with your kin people because, you know what I mean, nowadays, look what's happening.
When I was mad on my end, I go to your grandmother's house, my aunt, I call her my Aunt Black.
Yeah.
Aunt Black. And she made me feel so much like a person,
You're right.
Come here, give me a hug, she always wanted to give you that hug. You don't have that now. You don't have, who can you go to?
You can't do that no more. You know what I mean? You got brothers against brothers. You got the brother and the sister don't like each other. So the nephews and the nieces, they get involved in it because you got the aunt saying, get away from here. And then these kids these days, they quick to, turn on the parent, turn on the elder, and they'll curse them out real quick. We knew back then.
Saw something in the news the other day where a little guy had an argument with his parents. He wound up shooting both of them.
You understand me?
And you've seen that now more and more often now.
You understand me? And that's where the separation comes in there, man, because it's just no communication in the home like talking about no more. It's too much of the cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't take that away from them. You know what I mean? Just have a movie night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's another thing we're doing with Faith Family Fellowship Church, man. You know what I mean? 1 day out of every month. We choose a day out of every month. And we'll go around neighborhoods and we'll pass out little letters, just invitation letters. No money, no nothing, you know what I mean? We do popcorn, hot dogs, drinks for the kids, and we do a movie night. You know what I mean? Just to get the kids together, watch a good movie, give them something to look forward to. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question. You have a way that if somebody is interested in your program, how they could get in contact with you or someone
Yes.
to get their kids involved with what you got,
Yes.
what you're involved in?
Yes, man. If they want to reach us by phone, you can reach us at 337-256-9697. Again, that's 337-256-9697. You can reach me, myself, on Facebook, under Brock Mitchell. You'll see me on Facebook. You can inbox me if you want to keep it private. You know what I mean? Call that. I'd advise you to text or call that phone number, 337-256-9697. Man, I love working with kids. That's all I ever did, man. You know what I mean? Ever since I was 15, my first one, you know what I mean, coming up from there. And my mom always told me, you know what I mean, you make them, you take care of them. And that's the aim, man, you know what I mean? But I know how it is for some of these single moms, even the single dads out there, because you do have some single dads too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Respect to all y'all, man. If it's anything we can do to help, man, we love helping kids, man. That's our thing. We got a lot of other programs we can get them involved with. Travel basketball. We can get them in the football league we have going on in my area. You know what I mean, we're coming up with a flag football league also. You know what I mean, the Pepperplex is getting some work. So we're gonna try to help them there, and the city of New Iberia blow that up tremendously.
I see the city has finally, and I think something we all could agree on, acknowledgement about the gun violence. See the campaign going on, the billboards going up all over the city of New Iberia, and it's, you don't see that in other municipalities now. Where all those gun violence, all of them has the same problem, but for the city of New Iberia to adopt that and focus on that and make it a campaign. I think it's better, like we said on the show,
Right.
it's better to do something than nothing.
Right, and just to give the people a better understanding on this campaign, listen. Do not get it twisted with that snitching word, man, with that snitching thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference here.
Mm-hmm.
If a person is snitching on somebody, this person is telling the police on somebody else to get themselves out of a bind. You know what I mean? If you get yourself in a pickle, your mama always taught you, get yourself out of that. You don't need to be bringing nobody else in the middle of that.
Right.
I mean, no more silence, stop gun violence means you ain't gonna say nothing. That means you would watch somebody shoot my child in the middle of the street and not say nothing. You wouldn't tell them nothing. Now, don't get it twisted. Now, if I understand if my child out there causing trouble, shooting this one, shooting that one, running from the police on the run, and somebody gun him down and protecting themselves, and then I'm gonna leave that to God, man, because that's not for me to decide why you killed my kid. I know why you killed him. And some of these parents will play that role like, I didn't know what that boy was doing out there. I didn't know what that child was doing out there. Stop that. Your mama know you best, man. If nobody know you, your mother knows you. Now, or your grandmother knows you, or your father knows you. One of your parents know you. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna sit there and just tell me I didn't know what they was doing out there. No, stop. Because when I was in the middle of doing that, my mom was running across guns here, drugs there. She like, boy, what are you doing out there? What you really into? You know, she didn't know what I was really into, but she knew I was out there in them streets. She wasn't crazy. You know what I'm saying? She kept telling me, if you don't stop, you're gonna find yourself in the grave or in the jailhouse. 17 years old, I was in that jailhouse. I had one of my sons follow the same footsteps of mine. And I kept telling him, son, if you don't slow down, you're gonna be right where I was at 17. I'm telling him this at 15, cause son, you don't slow down, you're gonna be right where I was at 17. 16, he got worse. I said, son, you're heading to the graveyard. I said, one more year, I see you where I was. 17 years old. My son was in that jailhouse 5 years, 4 months. Just came home.
I'm glad you put it in that perspective.
So
glad you
don't get that snitching word twisted, y'all. This ain't about. We ain't telling you to come out here and snitch on somebody. That's just not the way this goes. You know what I mean,
the old saying go, you see something, say something.
You got to, man. I mean, come on, man. If somebody getting killed in cold blood, think about it if it was your own. That's how I want you to look.
And we got so many, you know, remember the lady on Hopkins Street, everybody knew,
yes, man.
Yeah, and
man.
that hurt me, because that could be my mother, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
And
that's a partner of mine, Mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That really affected. Affected the whole neighborhood. Right?
Yes.
That started. And then it got worse, and it got worse, and it got worse, and it got worse. But see, now that the streets have been implemented and been cleaned up a little bit, Liberia is gonna quiet down. Liberia is gonna quiet down, man. Well, and that was a big problem we had with the softball tournament. A lot of people wanted to come out and participate. They just didn't want to come into New Liberia.
You know, a lot of cameras are going up around here. I'm pretty sure, you know, when y'all was coming, y'all seen those blue light cameras.
Right.
It didn't stop the shooting here in Lafayette, but it sure slowed it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta find a better place to do your dirt once you get the cameras up like that.
Yeah.
And the whole thing too, and going back to, you was explaining the whole issue about snitching and what the signs might be. And even with cameras too, they view it as a snitching thing. But my thing is this: if you got a killer who will kill somebody, and you don't have a face or image or idea who that might be, that same person more than likely gonna do it again.
Oh yes, and he might come back for you next time.
There you go. So you have to have that in the sense of being secure. I saw the other day in Lafayette where the camera caught somebody under the car trying to take a catalytic converter.
Further.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you hop in your nice car, you got a nice,
Right.
I'm not gonna say that too much on TV.
Yeah, man.
And you come out there and you try to turn that key and you go, that's
Man, you
it.
hear that exhaust
That's it.
bust,
And
man.
people are doing them
Yeah.
things. It's not a joke. It's not a running joke. It's not a clowning. That stuff is serious,
This
man.
is really happening.
You be mad as hell.
This is really mad.
Anybody want to join in on this conversation? All you gotta do is dial area code 337-347-7236, and they'll put you in touch with us.
How's your headphone? It's not up. I hear a little.
It's crackling like.
I have to turn it down.
Yeah, you know, but like I say, it's all good, you know. We are trying to put things out here to help these kids, and it ain't no excuse, you know. They can't say they don't have this, or they didn't have this, they didn't know this. We are constantly putting it in the front of them, you know, to make things go right, you know, from education, send them to school to get an education, you know. Now the education system, let's see, we got a call coming in. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller.
Oh, finally, Brother Walsh, you were saying to call the number. I didn't call that number, been on hold for almost 6 years.
I'm sorry, Sister Khadijah.
Yes, I wanted to say good program this morning as usual. And I wanted to find out from, I wanted to let Brother Brock know that right where he's at, which is AOC, he's sitting on a gold mine in a sense where you could go ahead and bring young kids from the community, pay a membership of maybe about $60 a year, and you could use all of the facilities that's at Angola, particularly the live set, the podcast, the rap room where they want to do their own lyrics, and you could show those children how they could come up with their own set design, have a live segment. That technology is booming when it comes down to our young kids. So I just wanted to share that with you, young Brock, that you also have the opportunity to bring as many kids as you want once you're a member, and just expose them to the impossible. I mean, expose them to the possible, yes indeed.
Right.
Also, when you mentioned about our young kids, how about either doing some type of sewing in the community, or teaching them like basic sewing techniques, like how to put on a button, how to put on a zipper, what a pattern is, how to cut a pattern out. Believe it or not, that takes a good bit of concentration, using your intellect to follow those simple instructions and to actually make something of your own. And that's what I wanted to say, because I mean, we had the teenage centers, we had home economics, we even had cooking, and you have a lot of cooks that's in that area that would love to show what they do and how they do it. And I just wanted to share that with you, sir.
And I appreciate that, my sister. To answer you on that, that's all in the making. As far as the home economics thing, I had a big problem with them taking that out of some of the schools. Also the woodworking class. You know, we don't have many carpenters no more. So that would be something else we can implement to the kids. Cooking also, I mean, I can't give them the recipes I got some of my mama recipes.
Well, you got it from your mama. You know, your mama was a cook.
Yes. My mom opened and closed the doors at Piccadilly in New Iberia. So cooking, that'll be a great thing we can teach. Also, my wife is she's also of different ethnicity, so we could show them how to do some Philippine foods and some Caribbean foods and island foods, you know what I mean, and kind of implement that in, which, as we all know, that's Creole cooking. You know what I'm saying? The mixture of that with the down south Bayou people that became Creole cooking.
Well, you know,
And even the carpentry work now. My old man was a master carpenter,
Yes.
as my brother. You know, so you know that's the loss. You know, almost like it's a career, but it's a lost art form. The way,
Yes.
yeah,
You know, because
It's
right
a-
now we got people, contractors come out.
True.
No knock against the different ethnic groups that are doing carpenter work, but it was more of an art form when some of our people in the community did it. You know?
Yes, yes, because if you want to refer to the Bible, the people, Jesus even was a carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people worked with their hands. That's what the kids lost their way
Yeah,
with, working with their hands. So
Mhm.
that's a big trade for us.
We got AI doing everything.
And yeah, man, artificial intelligence, man. No, we need to come back
Yeah.
to our ways, man, and start working with our hands more. And she's right, and I appreciate you bringing that up, my sister. Thank you.
You know, another thing too, automotive, man.
Yes.
They got a lot of cars that need repair. All you gotta do is go to school. I used to try to get all these different car dealers to get around and try to open up a classroom and teach these kids how to do a specific thing in the car, you know, and let them all learn the different things. So when the car come in, you know exactly what to do, how to go about doing it,
Right.
and you have the tools to do it in.
Right.
But it seems like everybody want to put a phone in all these kids' hand, man.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, we
And
need to
some of
bring
these
all
kids-
that stuff back, man.
Yeah,
You're right,
yeah.
brother. I'm telling you, because we need to get rid of a lot of that assembly line stuff. That assembly line stuff we did
Yeah.
when cars first were
Mhm.
created
Yeah.
with Henry Ford. That was people
Right.
in the
Yeah.
assembly line.
You
Those
can't do nothing with
machines
a car
took
no
jobs.
more. If your car breaks down, you're scratching your head because
you call it.
it's a computer chip that controls
Right.
everything, and you don't have access to the equipment.
Right.
Right.
And so that put a lot of people out of work also,
Right.
along with everything else.
Especially our old school mechanics, man. Our real old school mechanics didn't know computers.
Nope.
So they found ways to manipulate that system and get them out the way, you know what I mean? So,
Well, you see, that's why I'm not getting rid of my truck.
right.
That
Right.
poor food.
I could work on it.
Right.
I can't
Old
work
vehicles,
on
as
the
long as
new
they
stuff.
getting fuel, as
Mhm.
long as they getting fire,
Yeah.
there's nothing but air outside. So it's gonna start and it's gonna run.
Right. Yeah.
And that's it.
It's understandable. It's just that if we could get our young people to get more into the tech of
Into
it
the
to
tech of
it.
catch
Yeah.
up with the technology. We could go back to the
Mhm.
auto mechanics and the trade skills and the carpentry work because we still got to change with the times also.
Right. Right.
And that's the problem because we don't have the wherewithal to get them involved in the new technology. They want to send you. Look, they want to get you out of school, and then they want to send you to college. Or after college, some people like college material. Some people like to learn hands-on.
Hands-on.
And I think they would had an emphasis on getting them into trade, even if the technology has changed. Getting them into the trade, that would be a great,
Right.
great thing.
Great thing.
And I'm coming up with an aim to kind of get at kids with things like that. Going through this school system they call ACE. Tell you something about that also. That ACE stuff, that's not bettering our kids.
Right.
No way. Because you send them to one school with these couple of teachers where they just sit in the class, just sit there. They don't complete assignments. They don't really do anything hands-on there, you know what I mean? So just my beliefs, if we was to bring back like a junior ROTC program or something,
Mm-hmm.
I bet them kids wouldn't like to go back there no more. The ones that just constantly keep going back, you know what I mean? If you make those kids come to school and make them work the first, the morning half.
Mm-hmm.
Let's run some laps. Let's do some push-ups, pull-ups.
Right.
Make them work
Right.
physically.
Right.
And
that's another thing. Take the physical education in the
Yes,
school.
put that physical education on it, and then that works with you psychologically also. And then you feed them, and then you make them go to classes and make them do their work. Don't just let them sit around and plan and plot.
Yeah.
on coming out of there and doing something worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's separate them. Let's make them work for it. If we put that back into the school systems, I think that'll have a big effect on the problem kids that we have that's repetitively going to that same ACE school system. We don't need that. We need to show our kids how to hold their own again, how to work for what they want. You know what I mean? Because some days, you gotta know these kids these days. They'll sit down on the sofa, fold their hands, and hang their lip.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we'd have tried that when we was young. I
Oh,
wish
yeah.
we would have tried that when
Oh
we
yeah,
was
oh
young.
yeah, oh yeah. You'd have got a good lip fixing.
Yes,
You know, they wasn't scared to put hands on them.
true.
They were hitting in their head back then.
Yeah. Nowadays they call that child abuse.
Yeah.
And then they want to come in your house, and then they want to open up a case, and then
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Come on, man, I can't. So you saying it's cool for you for me to send him to you,
To that
for
system,
you to
yeah.
discipline him in a jail system?
Or have one of them discipline you on the side of the road when
Right.
they stop you.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
He'd rather that.
Yeah, you know.
You know.
Come on, man. I mean, let's think about that.
Well, that's one thing my mom and dad taught us respect. You know, we was gonna respect. I remember I was about maybe 14 years old, and I called a man straight up his name. My lips started bleeding.
Oh, yes.
I slapped so hard.
Oh,
You
yes.
know what I mean?
If it wasn't Mister,
Yeah. You had to do that.
yeah, you don't get that no more.
No.
You gotta remind these kids, hey, sir, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You know, you gotta remind them of what to say these days because they don't have that installed in them.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, everybody don't deserve Mr. or Mrs., you know, but everybody should
Right.
get it,
Right.
you know?
Just out of respect.
Yeah, out of the respect. And I did that to the grandkids when when they would call me or something like this here. Sir, ma'am, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Just to talk to them and let them see me doing it, they'll pick it up too.
Right.
You know? So, and a lot of times, it don't take a whole lot to make a kid act right,
True.
you know? You just got to know how to love them.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And Brother Brown, you got a program coming up, right? A couple of programs coming up. You wanna, while we have a little bit more time, we could
Yes.
emphasize.
Besides our softball tournament, which I mentioned earlier, but for everybody that missed, it's gonna be next weekend, April 7th and April 8th. It's Good Friday and Saturday. The Good Friday we'll have concessions out there. They'll be selling ball crawfish. I know y'all like ball crawfish on Good Friday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fried fish and shrimp, a whole lot of other seafood, you know what I mean, for the Good Friday. The Saturday we'll have a lot of people out there doing barbecuing. It's gonna be a big cookout going on out there, man. We're gonna have a bike show, car show. Y'all come out, bring the kids out. We're gonna have a big Easter egg hunt for the kids out there on the Saturday.
And where this gonna be at?
This is gonna be in Bank Street Park in New Iberia, Louisiana. Man, y'all come out, y'all come enjoy yourselves, have a good time, bring those kids out there. We're gonna have a whole lot of other activities going on for the younger kids. Things like tug of war, sack racing, and man, just all kind of games. We're gonna do some games on the basketball court, shootouts and all kind of stuff. Just things to reach out to the community, get the kids to come together, interact with each other, and have a great, good time, some good old clean fun.
And not just the kids, get the grown-ups.
Yes,
Yeah,
parents,
exactly.
don't just drop your kids. Y'all come out there with your kids. Let's all have a good time. We trying to bring back the village feel, y'all. Just come out there and have a good time. Also coming up in May 5th, that's actually Cinco de Mayo for a lot that don't know, but that's gonna be on a Friday. We're gonna give a food drive for St. Francis Diner. We're gonna help St. Francis Diner out. We're gonna try to start doing that a lot more because we really need that, man. A lot of communities, all communities actually need that. That's a cornerstone of your community. If y'all don't know, that's just like having the great old church back in the day. You know what I mean? We need things like that. So we want to help St. Francis Diner out. Anybody want to help with that? Contact me, 337-256-9697. Also coming up in July, at the end of July, well, middle of July, July 15th. We're gonna be hooking up with Shane Hewman. We're doing a baseball camp for the kids. We're gonna be doing that baseball camp in New Iberia. The place is to be determined. We will put out flyers. We will, if I'm invited back, we'll come back on the show and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
We're gonna keep y'all updated with that. That's gonna be a pretty cool event. That's gonna be a good meet and greet for the kids. They can get autographs for some real good players, some professional players that came from their homeland. You know what I mean? So y'all bring your kids, get your kids involved with that. If your kids are involved with this softball tournament that's going on, they're automatically gonna be involved in that. For the registration fee that you already paid, that's gonna carry them over all the way into the Pepperplex. We're trying to bring some big leagues there to the Pepperplex to blow that place up, man, to bring some attention to New Iberia as far as sports. Because this, man.
Yeah, a lot of greats came out of New Iberia. A lot of greats, you know.
Yeah, man. And that Youngsville baseball team, man, that squad from there, they kicking butt right now, man. They going all over the world, bro. They doing good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
congratulations to those guys out there. And we need to bring some of that to the homeland, man. We need to bring that to the homeland. We need to come back. We need to come back to our old roots, man. We need to teach these kids how to work with their hands. We need to know how to grow our own crops.
Right.
We need to know harvest season again. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean? But look at the price of things that's going, man. We need to go back to raising these chickens.
And the outcome with not having the vegetables and,
True.
you know, sometimes I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be derogatory, the dollar store menu is not conducive for a child growing up.
It's going to mess up their system. You know what I mean? You want to feed them kids clean, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like wild game meat. My freezer still with game meat.
Yeah,
Because
you
it's
had an
better.
old uncle. He used to go hunt and
Yes.
had me eating
Yes, you know
stuff that
gotta
people
feed
say,
them.
well, don't say that.
Yeah, man, our old folks believe, man. You raise a hog,
Yeah.
that hog will feed your whole family for a year.
Yeah.
You cut it right.
I said when we was coming up, we ate out the backyard, the woods, and the water.
Right,
You know, 'cause my daddy fished, he hunt, and he raised his own chickens.
right.
You know. Oh yeah, man. I can't eat big chicken. I don't know what a big chicken is.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it even tastes. Because my daddy raised all his chicken, he didn't raise them on the ground. He raised them
Off the ground.
off the ground,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So we always had good chicken, man,
Yeah,
you know?
and that's good. And that's good for them
rabbit,
kids too.
rabbits and all that stuff we used to eat because you used to cook it,
Right.
you know? And we did a lot of cleaning fish and rabbits and stuff like this here.
Right.
And I had a sister and a brother. They fished all the time,
Right.
you know? My brother just got a little lazy.
Well, you know, a lot of those kids don't even have the fundamentals of knowing how
How
to.
to fish.
Knowing how to shoot an arrow.
Yeah.
See, we used to take that archery back in the day in the park, man, for summer camp.
Yeah.
We want to bring things like that back. We had, well, back then we had Sugarland Optimums.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I don't know what it's gonna be, but we're gonna bring some of that back. We got to bring some of that back and start showing those kids how to do things like that. Boy Scouts of America, they kind of scarred some kids, but this is not gonna be a Boy Scouts of America thing. This is gonna be a community-based thing.
Right.
Where we're gonna go back to showing these kids how to start a fire without flame and lighter fluid. You know what I mean? We need to go back to doing things like that because survival techniques, you never know when that's gonna have to kick in.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well, you see, that's what I say. You know, a lot of times, these kids, if tragedy really had to happen, you know, they wouldn't know how to survive that.
No,
You know.
they don't know how to read a compass, man. They don't know how to read a map. That's
Well,
not good.
The grandson, I did show him how to read the atlas, you know, and I showed him first, and then after I showed him again, and I showed him again, and then I wrote down where I wanted to go. You know, I said, now put me there. And he knew how to do
Yeah,
it.
he did it.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of times people don't understand that. You know, teach a kid different things, you know.
Right.
My little granddaughter, I'd put on the rider, and she'd put her hand on top of my hand. And when she felt what I was doing, she moved my hand and put her hand there and was doing it.
Right.
You see, but kids are smart. You just got to allow them to be smart. But anyway, Mr. Brock, appreciate you coming in.
Yes,
You
sir. I
know,
sure appreciate
time is
y'all for
winding
having me.
down. I wish you all the success in your endeavors.
Yes, sir.
Keep up the good work. Anything we could do whenever you wanna come on the show. Always, you got my number,
Okay.
but Brother Jay is the director.
Right. I'll
You
give
know,
y'all a call, man.
yeah.
'Cause I will be coming back on tremendously a
Mhm.
lot, man. We got a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Also, before we run out of time, there's one more program that we're gonna have coming for late the summer, maybe the fall. We're gonna start teaching kids the old Creole language again. We're hooking up with other organizations on that thing, and we're gonna get this thing cooking. This is gonna be a good thing for the kids,
Yeah.
man, to learn that language all
Yeah,
over
yeah,
again,
yeah.
because that
Yeah.
language is almost a lost language. That's
Yeah.
the language that we heard when they didn't want us to know what we were talking about. When we
Not
were young.
just that, try to get somebody to teach them Spanish.
Yes,
Spanish.
they need to learn it.
Spanish is big right now.
Yes.
Because you got so much Spanish speaking people here. But anyway, appreciate you, man. I thank you guys for allowing us to come into your home, into your eyes,
Yes.
into your heart. Until next Friday, 10 o'clock. Don't forget People Talking Tech Show
On Saturday.
on Saturday.
And don't forget this Sunday, Digital Soul Showcase TV, which won't be entertainment, it'll be more of a community-based show on 4 o'clock Sunday.
Okay.
Also, the community defender with Brother Darren Muhammad, he's back. Hopefully he's back this week. And back to next Wednesday, the Open Line Radio Show, Sister Khadijah and I, and Attorney Dwight Smith.
Okay.
And back next Friday, Brother Wallace Senegal, and hopefully Mr. Keith Falk and Community Matters. So we got a lot of shows we're doing on these platforms. Take advantage of it. Support AOC Community Media. There's membership drive going on right now. Support KIEE 88.3 FM, our media partners. They have wonderful program they're producing. Check out Mr. June Andrews' show today at 1 o'clock.
You guys need me at any of that stuff, man. Anytime y'all need me, call me, man.
Okay.
Thank y'all, bro.
Y'all heard it from the director. Turn the streaming off.
Wait, this one right, let me shut the social media down right